Pleasant morning, children. Happy to see you all again. Today we are going to discuss new chapter, chapter 26, Defense Officer Wahidha. You would have seen her picture in some of the newspaper and in some magazine. She is Wahidha Prism, doctor in the Indian Navy Force. She is one of the very few women who had worked on a naval ship, and she is the first woman to lead a parade. And this is very big honor to our armed force. An interview was made with her and questions were asked and she would have replied the questions. The first, Wahida, tell us something about your childhood and school. So she was from a village that is Tanan Mandi, which is in the Jammu and Kashmir, and she was did her schooling in the government school, and she did up to 10th in that government school. And in that village every student will have some of the dreams, but they could not able to move forward because of the some family situation and some other restrictions. But she was very interested to her higher studies and want to get a job in the different sector. So she completed her 10th in that village and she moved to her grandmother home, and she completed the 12th, the higher studies. And the next question, so you always thought differently right from the beginning. Yes, she was thinking that very different from the others. She was very fond of riding the motorcycle. She was very fond of riding motorcycle, the bike, and three sisters were there in her family. And her father wanted to become one as a doctor, and another as a teacher, and another as a lawyer. And she had become a doctor in the Indian Navy, and another sister, she was a police in the Jammu force. And the next question, how did you become a doctor? So how did she become a doctor? She it was very hard. She worked very hard, and her family and friends were helped them a lot, and she got admission in the Jammu Medical College, and she did her course 5 years and completed her MBBS. How did you get into a defense force? So she was a doctor, but she entered into the defense force. Did your family stop it? Yes, in a lot of families we have the problems that women should not move out of the family. So they will be restricting. But here the Wahida's answer is very different. Oh no, they felt that the job was good and it is the best for her. And when she was very small in Jammu, we could find a lot of armed force there, and they were be attending the camps in Jammu and Kashmir. So she was very attracted towards it, and she became uh, entered into the armed force. In school time itself, she have attended many camps, so there is no restrictions, and she would have climbed mountains, and she was a girl guide. So after that, she became a doctor and appeared for the interview for the armed force, and she was selected there, and for 6 months it is training and she was selected there. And the next question, why did you join Indian Navy? Do you not have lived on the naval ship area? And she was working in a sea, so it was very really to enjoy, and very few lady officers have worked on the ship. I am among them, so it was a very honor to her. And she had a goal that she want to travel in a submarine, but it was not allowed for the women to travel in a submarine, so she is waiting for that. So if the permission is allotted, sure she will move. So what happened to your degree of MBBS? I am a doctor, but an Indian Navy doctor. So she was working as a doctor in a ship. So she want to treat the patient, and she have to take care of the sailors and the person who were in the ship. Okay, and 3 to 4 months at a time she will be going into the ship, and she had a very big responsibility that she have to take care of all the persons in the ship, and she have to look out the place has to be kept clean or not. So this is a very important thing. And this, if it is not clean, if it is not clean and hygiene, so automatically the disease started to spread. And the next question, is there a hospital on a ship? So there is no separate hospital like setup, but we have the first aid and some other requirements for to prevent or to control the disease. Yes, you are the first woman to passing out the parade. You must have worked very hard for this. Yes, my senior gave this opportunity after seeing my performance of 3 years. So like that, after completing her performance of 3 years only, she got a place in that armed force, and she had a faith on her, so that she had practiced very sincerely. So tell us something about that parade. So in a parade, four battalion march behind the leader, so she have to give the 36 command. So this, for this she had practiced a lot, and she have to shout in a loud voice. So for that she have practiced a lot. And they are asking that whether you have any nervous feeling in that. No, they should not have any nervous feel, because they have to shout a lot, and 36 commands at a parade. If it is get confused in that, the total parade will be get collapsed. So she have to be very clear with the commands, and her voice should reach the persons who were in the opposite. And the final question is making that why did they kept the name as prism, Wahidha prism, and what is that meaning of the prism? So prism, we would have seen that prism, it is like triangular, and it is like a glass which shows 7 colors, that is the rainbow colors. So for that, her father named her as prism. So my father want to make like a prism, so that's why he started to call me in the name from the childhood. So this is about the Wahidha prism. So we students also have to become like a Wahidha prism. So many of the Wahidha prisms were in our country. So we have to come forward and to choose our field, and we have to shine in that field. Thank you, children.